Welcome, everybody. Good morning. John Zager. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Temperature is 58. I'm not quite sure if it got cooler than that. But right now it's 58 degrees here on the eastern slope. And I have hot coffee this morning. And it's pretty tasty. Last night was a great night. I went to my street and read, and it was really peaceful and quiet and serene, and I got a lot of good reading done. Actually, it's all neuroscience stuff, so turns out that I'm doing, research as I'm reading. So I enjoyed that a lot. There was only a couple people walking that stared, wondering what I was doing, but other than that, it seemed okay. I didn't stay there all night. Some people came up behind me and in a car, and I don't know what they were doing, but it was pretty much near dark at that point, so I just left. I went on down by the hotel and kind of hung out there, and it worked out okay, but one of the problems with the truck is staying in your truck. My old truck was kind of cool because I stayed in the back bed, you know what I mean? And it had a camper shell, and you could get back there and stay for the night. And that worked out great. I fixed it up to where it stayed warm in the winter and cooler in the summer, but I don't have a camper shell for this truck yet. So I'm not able to lay out there. Well, I have a couple times. But you're kind of exposed, and it's probably not the best. So I have 4 doors on my truck, and I stay in the back seat, and it's just too narrow to stretch out. So what happens is you try to go to sleep around dark 30, and I usually just pass out and fall asleep. And by 2 o'clock for sure, you're up. Well, awake, because there's so much pain in your body from laying, you put the seats up, but you're laying on the floor, and it's really hard, and there's no room, and you can't stretch out, and your arm goes to sleep. The other morning I woke up and my right arm didn't work. I've had this happen before, but the last time it was my left arm. I mean, literally, nothing. It doesn't move. You keep telling it, move, move, arm, do this, do that. Nothing. It doesn't do a dang thing. You can't move your fingers, can't move your hand, can't move your elbow down, all the way up to your shoulder. It's paralyzed. Well, yeah, I guess that's the word. And the first time it happened to me, I don't know, I might have had it happen a year or half a year ago, I honestly thought I had a stroke and I was paralyzed on my arm. And slowly you could feel the tingling coming back, you know, and oh, I guess it's okay. So it's just really difficult. Um, you know, you say to yourself, well, the guy's got a nice truck. He's sleeping in his truck. He's comfortable. Not. Boy, that coffee's pretty good. So this morning, I thought I would talk about common sense neuroscience and how we evolve into the people we are. And boy, there's a lot to talk about in that category. I don't even know where to start with it, but it seems to me that every day people are more hostile than the day before. And supposedly the economy is doing fine. But as I was talking to several people yesterday, people from 70 to their mid to late 40s, and they all talked about John. Social Security you can't live on. You can't live on Social Security and a pension, and you still need to get another job or two more jobs in this area, right? And, you know, I thought that was interesting coming from, it was a lady in particular that was elderly and working, and I talked to another lady that was elderly and working, and I got the same response from both of them. But their mentality and their attitude was, this is just what I do. This is what I have to do. And I kind of got that. You know, I got it. I understand it. And the other one was a guy, I guess he was in his early 50s. And all he does is work, you know, to support his family. And his kids are even moved out, as near as I understand. But he still has to support them, in a sense. Do you understand that? You know, they're millennials, and they're out on their own, each of the kids. Working, I guess they have jobs. But their jobs are not sufficient for them to make it, so whenever there's car work that needs to be done, they can't afford to go to a car shop, so Dad comes over and is the mechanic and does all the work. If they're late on their bills of some kind, you know, Dad comes over and covers the expense of that. Now that's kind of, I don't know, maybe something a parent would do, but not regularly, and you sure don't like to do it, and it's not teaching a good lesson, but by the same token, you love your kids, so you do what you have to do. How are these kids going to evolve if mom and dad are taking care of their financial stuff once they're already out of the house. I don't know how that works. But the other thing I keep bumping into, and even this morning, I mean, I don't know, what is it? It was, when I got here, it was 3:30 or 3:45 or something like that. I had some biscuits and gravy, which I shouldn't have had, but, they were fresh and hot. And the little cook guy, said he just made them. But he didn't say it in a nice, polite way like, these are really good. I'm really proud of them. And he was kind of, I don't know, cynical or something. And then the guy behind the cash register was not polite in any way, shape, or form. He just flat out didn't want to be working that job, this job that he has at the gas station. And he didn't really want customers. And the store's pretty full, at 3:30 in the morning. There's a lot of people. I mean, I'm sitting in the parking lot of the gas station right now. It's one of those right off the interstate things. So, they have parking areas. I suppose you could probably park here and sleep all night. I don't know if that's true, but probably. He just wasn't happy about customers. Millennial. But that's the other thing that I've noticed. Every place you go, every store, yesterday in particular, I was wandering around trying to, talk to people and kind of get an impression of what they're up to. Not happy. People are generally not happy. And kind of disgruntled. And that sort of thing. So, I don't know what's up with that. People just are mad. I was reading on the internet, last night, but a little bit this morning early, and there is some talk about, I don't know, that guy who supposedly committed suicide, pedophile, but who knows how that story is going to end up. There seems to be a lot of speculation with the Clintons, but I don't know. I'm just a guy that reads. But there are some comments on the internet that went on to say, glad he's dead. Maybe we need more people dying. I could stand to have more people dying around me. It's just anger. It has nothing to do with somebody getting ready to go out and shoot people. It's just anger. It's just, too crowded, too much negative, too much stress, too much survival. And what happened to the joy, inspiration, and pleasure? What happened to that? And sometimes, when we think of the amount of people, that are in the world, we begin to wonder what's going to happen when we start bumping into each other. We're kind of doing that already now. This little town I live in, when I moved here, there was, and I don't remember, but it was like 32,000 people. Now I think we're at 200, and we're supposed to be at 300 in the not too distant future. They cannot build enough massive condominium complexes here. They're just building everything, and commercial stuff. And I remember the day, not that many years ago, when all the malls were closing up. There was no occupancy in the malls and the commercial buildings and the office buildings. And now everybody's coming in droves, especially from that rotten state of Texas. I have no idea how they get up here. I thought we put a wall up down there on the border, our border, to keep Texans out. Talk about people with a rotten mentality. I mean, I've spent my time in Texas, trust me, and I like Texas. I like Texas on the water. But, man, oh man, there's a group of people that have a mentality that sure can't be doing them any good. The egos down there are a little bit on the inflated side. It used to be we didn't really much care about California people, but now, they're a notch up over Texas people. I don't understand why people have to be so mad. And I don't dislike Texas people. I actually love the state of Texas. And I love spending as much time as I can down there. But I'm treated like crap when I go down there because I have Colorado plates, I guess. And I get flipped off and, people trying to drive me off the road. And, you can't go the speed limit. You should be going double. I mean, it just seems like it's kind of difficult down there in getting along because I'm not a Texan. And then it gets to be, you go down in the wintertime because, all you're doing is you're a snowbird. You want to go down and fish, right? And, they want your money and they call you a winter Texan. But boy, they sure aren't very nice to you. And California, with what used to be a sanctuary whatever, city or town or county, it's now a sanctuary state. They just don't want you being anywhere near there if you're conservative. I read, the internet again, and they're just doing everything in their power to keep conservative views out of that state. Well, I love California. I really think California is a cool state. Weather-wise, climate-wise, all that kind of stuff. One time I was driving down from Lake Tahoe, coming in, towards Sacramento, and I was going to go over to San Francisco, and I used to live there. I used to live there. Listen to this. I'm driving down, I guess it would be I-80, near Sacramento. Had my window down. It was a nice day. And some guy drives up next to me, starts hollering across the way and flipping me off. I don't know, maybe because I have Colorado plates or something. I have no idea. Takes a bottled water and throws it from his driver's seat through his window into my window, misses my head, and lands on the other seat. I'm not quite sure I'm making up all this stuff, you guys, about the hostility with people. I guess you'd call that hostility. People have evolved into, I guess it's survival of the fittest, but it's really not. It's just people have gotten aggressive. People driving nowadays across the United States are more aggressive. Everybody used to drive kind of like okay before, but now it's aggressive. I'm going to get in front of you because I can and I will. So we have all of this type of behavior that you can see, you can read, and you can watch. Yeah? And then people wonder why they're sick. Why they have diseases, sicknesses, ill health. Maybe it's your crummy attitude. Maybe you're up-regulating all those nasty, diseased genes. Where do the diseases come from? From the environment, right? Our lifestyle. It's a lifestyle thing. Lifestyle has to do with our personalities, how we think, act, and feel. If we're having devious behavior, then we're probably thinking deviously. I mean, if somebody on the internet is talking about, good, I'm glad he's dead, I hope more people die, that's a devious thought, and that's probably up-regulating negative genes, unhealthy genes, sickness, ill health. That's just neuroscience, you guys. Neuroscience is not like brand new. Neuroscience is not something that just came about when Dr. Joe came about. It's been here long before that. We just called it something different. How we think, act, and feel. So how we think influences our environment. How we act influences our environment. How we feel influences our environment. I mean, you can't sit on I have a nice truck now, right? I'm very proud of it, very happy. It's very cool. And, it's a little crowded on the inside, but every day I get a little better and, maybe I get an extra 5 minutes, and sooner or later I'll adjust to it. Well, I have to. It's not that I will. I have to. But I can't sit on a quiet, peaceful, beautiful little street, not near homes. There's office complexes, and I mean, they're southwest. They're kind of hidden, built into the ground. It's a very quaint, beautiful little area. But I'm not near families or kids or just a neighborhood with that kind of thing. And I'm just sitting in my truck, windows all down, just enjoying the night, the evening, reading. I mean, I've read 2 books there within a week. And I'll look at the internet a little bit, and, I'll do a little meditation, nothing long, just do a little meditation. And people come up and stare at me and take pictures of my license plate and my car or my truck, and it's like, well, I guess the police are going to be coming now because they're fearful. I assume they're fearful. How they think, act, and feel is influencing their environment. I am now in their environment, which is causing them to go crazy. And all they're doing is making themselves sick. I notice the people that are coming by are walking as if, they have some ailment. Or they have a cane, or they have something. I mean, the kids are cool because they don't know any better yet, and they're just riding their skateboards, having a good old time, and that's cool. But the adults have gotten to the point to where they, have things to assist with their mobility. What's that about? What do you need that for? And I don't get that. Here's a guy who just pulled up next to me. There's 30 empty spots in this parking area, right? And this guy thinks that he has to park next to me, a couple feet away. What's that about? What the hell is that about? I just, people are all screwed up. People are all screwed up. You know how they think, act, and feel. And they're all just getting sicker and sicker all the time. That's all they are. Try to find some place to have a little quietness in the morning. And you can't find it. People want to come right next to you at 4 o'clock in the morning and park right next to you. And there's 30 spaces or so. Neuroscience. Now, for the people that are at home, maybe they're retired and they just stay at home, or in their yard or on their block, they don't see any of this. Maybe they don't even watch TV, or they only watch a certain channel, that's safe and protected. There are the people, the moms and dads that raise the kids, and they're sheltered. They just take their kids straight to school, and then they go to their job, and then they pick up their kids, and then they go home. So they're not really privy to all of this that's going on out here. Met a guy yesterday This will be the last story I talk about today. Met a guy yesterday. I know him. I don't know him very well, but he's a very, very nice guy. I sort of admire everything he does, and works hard, supports his family, but doesn't seem to get anything in return. I don't know, it's just an impression that I have. I'll tell you what, this place at 4 o'clock in the morning is like crazy. There's just a stream of cars coming in and going out, and trucks. This is the busiest place probably in our town. And I picked it. But anyway, this guy was telling me about his wife. And his wife came down with a disease. And they went last week to have it, diagnosed. And then they had to talk to the doctor about it. And, she has lost her memory. Short and long-term memory are going. It's been progressive, and it's gotten to the point now that it's affecting her whole life. She has very little short and long-term memory. And it's affecting her physical ability. She's not paralyzed, but she now needs assistance with her mobility. She's become obese, right? That's been progressive. And she started medicating herself, through alcohol that they know about for sure. It's not like, maybe there's some other drugs involved, but they don't know that as of right now. And here's what the doctor told her, and the husband, what she could understand, and the husband as well. Here's what the doctor said. You're going to get worse, it's not going to get better, and you're going to die. The Grim Reaper, right? So I feel terrible for the lady, because I'm quite sure, she has been a good mother to her kids, which are all gone now. I think she's late 40s. I'm not real sure. But how awful of a thing to happen. And the husband, again, he's real healthy, works out at the gym every day of his life, runs every day of his life, eats healthy food. I think he does drink a little bit, but not like terrible. And now, her prognosis is just disgusting. And worse yet, they don't have any idea what to do with her. I don't know the name of the disease. He had said what it was, but I don't know. It's basically uploaded from the environment and from your personality, how you think, act, and feel, and you bring it on. We're talking strictly neuroscience here, you guys. We're not even. This is pure neuroscience. Pure neuroscience. The Newtonian doctors are able to clearly say this lady 100% emphatically brought this disease, debilitating, progressive disease, on entirely herself through her mental attitude, her actions, and her emotions. And it's going to kill her. I mean, according to these doctors and whatnot. And there is nothing they know of to treat it. But these are kind of rare cases, right? There is now documentation in the AMA that has given a diagnosis to people who do this to themselves, which is all that Dr. Joe has been preaching for forever. You have a choice. You can change your personality and become healthier. And now, I would guess we're going to start seeing this diagnosis becoming more prevalent and showing up a lot. I mean, whatever they named it, it's been there for 10 years. They just now have figured out that they need to attribute it to neuroscience and what people do to themselves. That's crazy, ain't it? Is that crazy? That's crazy. All you people out there with heart attacks and what do they call them? Quadruple bypass surgery things? And strokes. What the hell is this stroke thing that's been going on for eons? High blood pressure and cholesterol and blah, 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 blah. It's 100% thought provoked, upregulated from the environment. You did it to yourself. And here I am feeling terrible that, I had this delicious little, what did I have? Sausage, biscuits and gravy this morning. I mean, it's a little portion, but by the same token, that's the kind of stuff we can't be doing. We just can't be doing this stuff, you guys. We can't be hollering at everybody for everything and being angry and bitter and resentful and hostile at the world. We just can't. We just can't. We can't do that anymore. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. We can't be we can't be writing stuff on the internet about, I'm happy somebody committed suicide. Well, the guy was probably a pervert anyway, and he probably wasn't exactly doing wonders for the world. And it sounds like his MO was he was bringing on other people, into this clandestine world of, what do they call that, pedophilia? I mean, even with all that said, sure ain't the hell for me to judge. I'm not going there. I feel sorry for the guy that, he's dead. Well, he probably didn't do real good things for himself. And the end result is the end result. I don't know. But maybe we need to think about how we think, act, and feel. Our personalities. Bottom line, and then I'll get off, and I don't believe anybody listens to this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I enjoy doing it, and I think it's pretty thought-provoking even for myself. But I'm not sure that the world has gotten to the place it's gotten to other than through a whole lot of people that have a whole lot of negativity going on. And when we have someone like Dr. Joe in his program, which aspires to, and Bruce Lipton, God bless Bruce Lipton, oxytocin and love and nitric oxide and healing and not having disease. All that can and does happen to people. Through having healthy emotions, healthy thoughts, having a love for life, having an appreciation. I talked about this the other day, of one another. Just an appreciation. Everybody's got a value, a purpose, a meaning. And maybe the ones that are jerks or doing things poorly, maybe we don't go and try to tell them anything, but maybe we just model behavior. My friend who has the wife I just talked about that got diagnosed with, I don't know if that's terminal or it seems progressive. I think it's fair to say that. I tried to just have a sentence or two about being able to heal that kind of stuff, and boy, I was jumped on. No, it's progressive. It's terminal. She's going to die. It will get worse. It'll get worse. I mean, those were the comments. I didn't make those up. But what does that say? There's a lot of frustration and hurt, and it's going to pile a heap of stress into his life that now he needs to pick up where his wife will not be able to any longer. And that's just anger coming out. So, my final thoughts this morning are, God bless everybody. Take care of one another. And I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.